Most Americans watching The Crown aren't familiar with Harold Wilson, the Queen's first Prime Minister from the Labour Party, who is played by Jason Watkins in Season 3. They don't know about the Aberfan mining tragedy, in which 116 children and 28 adults died. And they haven't heard of Princess Alice, Prince Philip's mother, a chain-smoking Greek nun. So the Netflix series about Queen Elizabeth's reign becomes a history lesson of sorts, teaching its viewers about not only the royal family, but also life and politics in the UK. But showrunner Peter Morgan isn't making a documentary, and at times crafting a drama, even one rooted in history, stands at odds with the facts. So he plays with timelines, manufactures characters, invents situations that couldn't have taken place in real life, and omits significant events to create an entirely different truth. Here are some of the biggest royal scandals skipped in The Crown. The Crown Season 4 hints at Princess Anne's marriage troubles, but they leave out the details that husband Mark Phillips had a child with an art teacher. In 1991, art teacher Heather Tonkin revealed that Mark was the father of Felicity, who had been born 5 years previously, placing it well within the time frame of Season 4. He had been paying her £6,000 a year, and a DNA test that year proved he was the father. Anne and Mark divorced in 1992. Another scandal The Crown omitted is Princess Anne's affair. During her unhappy marriage, Anne was having an affair with Timothy Lawrence, a Navy officer and the Queen's equerry. He wrote her some love letters, and in 1989, they were stolen from a briefcase and given to the Sun, who deemed them too steamy to publish and handed them over to the police. Scotland Yard launched an investigation which took 4 months and involved taking 500 fingerprints. The culprit was never found. Anne and Timothy got married late in 1992. Princess Diana's tragedy became The Crown's biggest plotline in later seasons. But even early on in Season 4, the writers omitted some pretty serious details about her life. There is warning as the series depicts Diana's ongoing struggle with bulimia as she tries to adjust to a new life in the public eye with next to no support from the royal family. In her BBC One Panorama interview with Martin Bashir in 1995, Diana also confirmed press reports about her battle with postpartum depression after Prince William's arrival in 1982. When no one listens to you, or you feel no one's listening to you, all sorts of things start to happen, she said. I didn't like myself. I was ashamed because I couldn't cope with the pressures. The Crown Season 4 shows the IRA's assassination of Lord Mountbatten, but in real life, the group also came close to assassinating Thatcher in 1984, with the Conservative government in Brighton for the annual party conference. The IRA planted and took responsibility for a bomb in the Grand Brighton Hotel in a bid to kill Thatcher. It went off just before 3 a.m. while Thatcher was still working in her hotel room. The bomb damaged the bathroom of her suite. She escaped injury, but 5 people died and 31 were injured. A lot of Princess Anne's drama was left out of The Crown Season 4, including a kidnapping attempt. Just 4 months after marrying Captain Mark Phillips, Anne was on her way back to Buckingham Palace when armed loner Ian Ball forced her car to stop. Anne, who was only 23 at the time, actually faced him down. There was an exchange of shots, she said later, describing how her Scotland Yard detective and Ball went at it. And when Ball tried to drag her out, she didn't exactly cooperate. I told him it'd be much better if he just went away and we'd all forget about it, she explained, adding, I was scrupulously polite because I thought it was silly to be too rude at that stage. By the end, Ball had shot 2 policemen and Anne's chauffeur. The Crown has mostly avoided the troubles, except for Lord Mountbatten's assassination in Season 4, but skipping over the 1997 Northern Ireland riots is a huge omission. From July 6th to July 11th, Irish nationalists took to the streets in Portadown, clashing with the RUC and British Army after the Orange Order was given the green light to march through a nationalist neighborhood. This wasn't just a one-off protest. It was years of tension boiling over. The riots resulted in 1 civilian death and over 100 injuries, marking the last major flare-up of violence before the Good Friday Agreement in 1998. Covering this event would have set The Crown up perfectly to show the peace agreement, a moment that reshaped the entire United Kingdom. Leaving it out? Kind of a big deal. The show has touched on the Queen's struggle with relevancy and the British Empire's fading influence, but Season 6 missed a major chapter in that story, the 1997 referendums in Scotland and Wales. That September, both nations voted on whether to pull some power away from London, paving the way for self-government. Both votes ended in yes, giving Scotland and Wales the autonomy they hadn't had in centuries. Showing this shift could have deepened the Crown's themes about the Empire's decline. And more, Tony Blair wouldn't have heard either, as this was a cornerstone of his Labour Party manifesto.